Welcome to another exciting episode. I'm your host, James. Always with me is...
My name's Andy.
And we welcome you. We want you to take this journey as we become legend of the nerds. Today it's going to be a great episode, Andy, because, as you know, May 1st is already behind us, and that was a huge day in Nerdland.
It was a huge day for both of us.
Because Age of Ultron came out. We went there opening day.
Oh, I loved it. It was I looked forward to that for the last, year or two, waiting for this movie to come out. And I remember, I even gave you little texts. I'm like, only 24 hours? Oh,
I got the countdown.
I was so excited. It was a great movie. I know a lot of people out there, they had their concerns, but if you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, go see it. Great movie.
We're not going to touch up too much on this movie because you don't want to spill any spoilers out there. But for right now, I enjoyed this movie for a couple of reasons. For me, it felt not like a sequel at all.
Oh, definitely not.
It's a movie that stood on its own.
Exactly. The thing I loved about the first one was I love action. And that's what the whole first one was. It was action, action, action. But this one definitely played out with a nice plot story. It had its comedy, it had its action, but it also had, the whole storyline I thought was great.
It had a great comedy in it, man. And that's what Joss does. With all of his stuff, Joss always seems to put that comedy in there that fits in with the action.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Another great part about it was all the different storylines that can sprawl out of this one movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many different points in there. Like Wakanda was mentioned.
Yeah.
Huge section of Wakanda in there. And, that's a big hint that Black Panther's coming in
Civil
the
War.
universe.
Yeah, in Civil
somewhere.
War.
Civil War, a movie on its own, sometime in there.
Oh, and I know you're a big Black Panther fan. I know you can't wait for that.
We got to have it in there. And also, Planet Hulk. There's a lot of iffies on that.
There's iffies.
If it's actually going to happen, for me, big hint in there that Planet Hulk, could come out.
The whole talk I've been hearing about is that fans want to see another Hulk movie. The first one with Edward Norton, fans liked, but they didn't like Edward Norton playing Hulk. When Mark Ruffalo...
That's goofy.
He's so tiny.
Norton made such a great Bruce Banner.
He is. He's tiny and then builds up to become
tall,
Bruce.
Skinny, and nerdy.
Yeah.
Just what Bruce Banner is.
I like Mark. I'm actually more of a fan of the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, but ever since he took over, fans have loved him playing Hulk, and they want that Hulk sequel so bad. And you're right. It kind of seems like they might, but everything I'm hearing is it's on the table, but then it's off the table, and it's back on the table, and it's off the table. So, I mean, my heart, I'm really hoping there is, because there's all these sequels of all these Avengers.
Let the green light happen.
Yeah, except the Hulk. It's like, people want to see it. Give it to the people.
Exactly. Another great part about the movie was the building of the relationships.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This had up and downs, though, for me. Ups and downs. I enjoyed how the bromance happened.
Yep.
With Tony Stark and Bruce Banner.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like they got closer and closer. At the end of the first movie, they're close. They're hanging out.
Well, they
drove off together.
Yeah, and they show him in Iron Man 3 at the end because he's telling telling Bruce his lifelong story and everything.
Yeah, because he thinks Bruce is a psychiatrist.
Yep. They also set up the Civil War relationship that I'm excited for, because you see this little rivalry between Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which, when they...
The little fight,
the
squabble.
And then I'm not trying to give away too much at the end when Tony drives off. I mean, it kind of seems like they're going their own ways, and then we'll come back for Civil War.
Could not. We don't know what's going to happen. But the relationship that I kind of felt like they should have touched up a little more was Banner and Natasha.
Yeah, without giving too much away, there is that little relationship.
Well, I mean, you saw it in the trailers. You know something between there is going to happen.
Yep.
But there's a lot of things that should have built up more. It seems like they just kind of shoved it all in this movie, and he built up it all.
Yeah.
They had something called, the lullaby. That's all I'm going to touch it with. And we don't know where this came from at all. They should have touched up in it in the second Captain America movie. Or a hint scene in a Thor or something,
I didn't have many problems with it, because in the first one it shows with Black Widow kind of recruiting going after Bruce when she gets her orders. So it kind of starts that little relationship. But you are right. You don't know then how in the first one, for instance, it was Rocky. Hulk attacked Black Widow when he transformed into Hulk and
Yeah.
everything. She tried to calm him down, and now all of a sudden you're seeing this nice side of Hulk.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? Because the last time we saw Bruce Banner was at the end of Iron Man 3.
Of course, yeah.
And so you don't know what he's been doing up there in Stark Tower with Tony the entire time.
So we had that small build-up going, but it should have been a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
So we absolutely understand all of it.
Let me ask you this, though. One of my favorite things was, I'm not going to give anything away, obviously, but when it zooms out and it shows Stark Tower officially Avengers Tower, I love that one snapshot. Like at the end of Avengers, it's just the A in the Stark just
Yeah,
left.
yep.
He took that down but put up the Avengers logo up there. I love that. And the little party they have and everything. It was just
The party scene was cool, and again, we're not giving much away because it's in the trailer anyways.
yeah. When they're
party
trying to pick
scene
up
was cool.
Thor's hammer, that was where the comedy came in.
Yeah,
That's why
it helped out a lot.
That's why, in my eyes, I thought this was a better movie. Avengers is in my top 5 of all-time movies
Of course.
that I love to watch. This one tops it because I love the storyline because it was more drawn out.
Because it didn't, again, it did not feel like a sequel. It was one of those movies that just stood on its own.
And that's why I'm excited for in 2018 and 19, I believe, is the Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2. Because I'm really hoping for it to be just like this. Not a sequel, but a whole new movie
Yeah.
that can stand alone by itself.
Joss did a great job by not trying to make it bigger, but he tried to make it better.
Exactly. And he
accomplished that.
and he even said he doesn't want it to be for people to go out there and think this movie has to be better than the first one. He just wanted it to stand alone as being a good movie.
And he accomplished. Much
And
accomplished.
the thing that I'm nervous about is we talked earlier about him not coming back.
Joss?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a rumor that Joss is done with the Marvel Universe.
Which gets me nervous, though. That's the one thing that gets me nervous about Infinity Wars, is I want him to be the director of this.
Right. I believe the new guys on board are the guys who directed the Captain America movie,
Okay.
the second one.
There we go.
Which
I mean,
was a great movie. So I feel like, I think they're brothers.
I mean that's what with Marvel. That's why whoever they get for all the Marvel movies, in my eyes, has done a good job. So I'm hoping that it stays the same, even if Josh does leave. That they do make sure that they want to keep the integrity of the Marvel Universe to what we as fans enjoy as movies.
Yeah, I believe it is the Russo brothers that are now taking it over.
Okay.
And they did a great job with, Winter Soldier. So hopefully they'll take that insight what they have and jump into the next Avengers stuff.
Winter Soldier, it was, to me, is the best in Phase 2 besides the Avengers 2.
Yeah, Winter Soldier's awesome. It was a great movie.
Which, going back to Civil War, that's going to be one of my favorite things. You get to find out more about Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they're going to touch on that.
Because at the end of Winter Soldier, when he's in the museum looking at his display because they thought he was dead,
Of course.
that was my whole favorite thing about Winter Soldier was Bucky.
Yeah.
That was the best storyline ever. So
Dislikes about Avengers. Age of Ultron. What do you got?
my biggest dislike is those fans out there. I'm sorry, but for me, it's hard for me to find a dislike with this movie because I was so excited and it gave me everything I wanted. But there are some of those fans out there, those bloggers, that are too nitpicky on the movie who I don't consider true fans.
Right.
I'm sorry, but things I saw in this movie I thought were great. And what I saw for people complaining about the movie, I had to go back and I'm like, did you even watch the movie? Because what they're complaining about didn't happen. It's just, it made no sense. I truly, for me, it's hard to find any dislikes of this movie.
Well, I'm going to throw you some nitpicks right now.
Be my guest.
They're small ones, they're minor ones, but the costumes. Mostly Captain America.
Yep.
He wore his head mask
Yep.
for the beginning fight scene. Mm-hmm. But then I don't remember seeing it on him throughout the rest of the movie.
No, he has a big fight, which they show in some trailers with Ultron on a truck in Korea. He doesn't have that on it, but
I wanted to see the mask on more.
Yep.
Because even in the animated series, before he goes into battle, he's always putting it on.
which that's fine with me. That to me isn't that big of a nitpick. That was just kind of little things.
Well, I'm saying, little things for me kind of bother me. I
That's
notice that
fine, though.
stuff, and it's like, put the
Because
darn
that's
mask
that's
on.
how it was in the comics too.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Those are fine nitpicks. It's those other big things that just don't make
I want to
sense.
see the wings.
The wings to me are just a little corny. I'm sorry. Or you with your Hawkeye having to have the
Right
mask.
now, yes. Hawkeye, one of my favorite characters.
He is. He's your favorite.
He's
I
one of
know.
my favorites, and I wanted to see I've always wanted to see him just put the classic mask on. We didn't see it, but at least put this.
I wouldn't mind the
purple
sunglasses.
Sunglasses on.
Purple sunglasses.
I'll always put the
I've
purple
seen the
sunglasses on.
animations of the purple sunglasses before. Those are pretty neat. But
They are pretty neat.
For me, Hawkeye in this live action kind of type movies, I like the way he is because you have the superheroes. For instance, him and Black Widow, to me, aren't those big superheroes that we have all the movies from. They are, I don't want to call them sidekicks because they're not.
There are super spies of the movies.
They're not the sidekicks.
They're the intel guys.
They are Avengers, but they're not the top Avengers. Like they don't have the superpowers or the robot suit and everything
Right,
like
right.
Tony. So to me, they're the spies, and just the look they have that shield look without giving them a mask or something like that. Like you said, spies. Spies don't have masks and all that stuff.
They have cool sunglasses.
Okay, the sunglasses is fine, but I mean, you've seen his suit. He does have the hard leather body armor suit, and his quills for his arrows and all that stuff. When he pulls them back, he has a little trigger that switches the blades on the arrows to make them explosions or anything
is
like
awesome.
that. Which is, so to me, it's fine the way he looks. I mean, he has like the little doped out hair kind of thing where it's.
Well, yeah, we
Gelled
got
up and
spiked up a
everything.
little bit, but I mean, I want to see something.
What'd you think of Black Widow's though? Because she has the LED lights and stuff on her.
I
thought
think it was a good improvement.
Which I have my speculations because Scarlett Johansson, who plays Black Widow, she was pregnant during the filming of this movie. So it makes me wonder if they tried to do that to take your eyes off her little baby bump that she had going on.
Little Billy.
I mean, I didn't notice.
No,
I mean,
nobody
I couldn't tell if she was or not. But she mentioned on some live shows that she was pregnant and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, she had to have her stunt.
Jimmy Kimmel, she did, I believe.
Yeah, she had to do her. She couldn't do her own stunts and stuff, like on the motorcycle, and she had to have a stunt double.
It's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, but give her props. It's like going off track here, but X-Men: Days of Futures Past, when we saw that a couple years ago, Halle Berry, even though she didn't have a big role as Storm in that movie, she was pregnant in that movie
that's
too.
Right, yep.
But I think that's why they give you a different outfit with the lighting and stuff to take your eyes off that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her suit. I thought it was pretty neat with the LED lights. But
Yeah, I mean, most of the costumes in the movie were actually pretty cool.
my favorite one though, the Hulkbuster. That was I thought that was great. I mean, they've shown obviously in the previews the whole Hulkbuster incident. But when you guys go out there and watch that movie, that is a great scene. I'm sorry.
It was a good
The
scene.
Hulk versus Hulkbuster was amazing. It had its comedy in it. It's had its action. It was great. So, you get a chance, go out there and watch it.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a dislike or what, but when I first saw the movie trailer come out a couple of months ago, they had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at first this was going to be an instant like in the Batman trilogies, with
Okay.
Catwoman being in it.
Yep.
For me, she was kind of a useless character. I felt like she didn't bring anything to the Batman trilogies.
True.
And I thought that we're going to do the same thing with these two characters. When you guys watch the movie, it's not that way. These guys actually do bring something to the table
They're
that
great.
really supports the movie, and I really enjoyed it.
They are great co-stars. They weren't sidekicks. They were co-stars.
Yeah, they were, and they actually did bring something. They actually brought most of the storyline together for me. I thought it was actually a good touch putting it in there.
And they're definitely not characters that are one and dones, because if you
Right.
go online and you look up, for instance, Civil War, which is the next Captain America movie, Scarlet Witch is in
Yeah.
Civil War. And it's not like her name is way down on the cast list. It's up there. So she's going to have a big role in the next movie.
Here's what makes me wonder, though, is Was Quicksilver kind of a useless character in the movie? I mean, Scarlet Witch wasn't, but could they put another superhero or another big name, small name, to replace Quicksilver, and the movie would have been the same?
I think it was fine the way it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, they weren't sidekicks. They were co-stars. It
makes you wonder what if they put Power Man in there instead of Quicksilver. Would it have been the same?
I don't think so, because if you didn't have Quicksilver, you can't have Scarlet Witch, because they're twins.
Well, they are twins, but they weren't so tight in the comics, though.
They weren't, but I like the whole way it sets up in all the other movies, because like at the end of Winter Soldier, for instance, it shows that little quick clip of them in the cages, and they're all, and Hydra is always using the reference the twins.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just like that. Even in watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're always, in the last episode, they mention the twins. And it's just one of those things when you say the twins kind of thing, it gets you, to me, it got my blood rushing. I'm excited to see these two characters come out.
Yeah.
And the whole brother-sister relationship was great. They had such a strong relationship. When one got hurt, the other was right there to pick that other one up.
Now, how was the accent work out for you?
How was what?
The accent.
The accent,
twins.
the like Russian, Slovakian accent. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind Quicksilver's. It was Scarlet Witch's is kind of
With Olsen, yeah, she tried hard. I give her props for that.
Yeah.
She tried hard.
I see it being her character playing out to be a better one come the next Captain America, because like at the end, for instance, you see her new getup and stuff. She gets a uniform kind of thing instead of just having the regular robe.
Right. I hope they give her mask, because she has a mask too.
Yeah, she has that like pink.
It looks like a pink
mask.
M&M's or a McDonald's sign, doesn't it?
Kind of. It's just the like spikes
It's like a purple
and everything.
or red M.
I doubt it. The whole mask thing, to me, it's more the animations are more masks. Live action,
But a lot of people, look at that. They're like, yeah, that's cool. We recognize that. It's one of the recognizable things.
Well, it's like first Captain America. He does wear his mask a lot of times.
He does?
And I believe it does have the little white wings on it.
Yeah, the first movie it was painted on, kind of, but the second one, they actually flipped
I think it's because now everyone knows who Captain America is. The public knows it's Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
When he's back in his first one in 1942 for fighting the Nazis and all that and Hydra,
right,
you didn't want to give up your secret identity, because then they know who you are.
Right.
Now everyone knows who everyone is.
It's like battle armor, it gets you excited. You pop it on, I'm ready to go into battle now.
I think people get more excited about the shield. The shield is his more. I'm ready for battle. And I mean, he's got the little magnet thing that brings the shield back. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. There wasn't a lot of flaws in it. There were just a lot of cool stuff to pick up and a lot of Easter eggs in there.
My expectations of the movie, it blew them out of the water. I looked up online. It's getting an 8.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me. I'd give it even a 9. Like I said,
I think it pulled like an 82 million opening day. I think
it did. Yeah.
I think it was the second biggest opening day movie.
It definitely, like I said, met my expectations of a movie. If you just go out and see it for yourselves, tell us what you think.
Speaking of movies, it's time to do our top 5.
My favorite time.
Ones. It is May, beginning of summer movies. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out. Our top 5 is going to be based upon our top 5 that we want to see this summer.
Our top 5 biggest summer blockbusters.
There you go.
So, but we have to say, even though May 1st was Avengers,
it was a given.
Obviously, us being big Marvel fans, we knew that would be both our number ones.
It's not even on the list.
So they're not even on the list. It's basically movies that aren't even out yet. So with that,
go ahead, man. Knock it out.
Okay.
What do we got?
With mine, I got my number 5 is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in San Andreas.
Number 5. Okay.
Now, see, when San Andreas, when I heard about that, I thought it was going to be this based off the Grand Theft Auto video games, because one of them's called San Andreas.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh my God, based off a Grand Theft Auto video game. Then I found out it's one of those world coming to the end kind of.
Do you really think The
movies.
Rock would have done it based off a video game?
I think
Again?
so.
Again?
I think so.
I mean, he did Doom. I mean, that was phenomenal.
I think San Andreas is going to be a good movie. I'm not big on the world coming to end things, but watching this, it does look pretty good. So I don't know if I'll see it when it comes out to theaters, but it's definitely one of those ones I do want to see. Number 4, I saw the first one. It's the Maze Runner, The Scorched Trials. Now, the first Maze Runner, amazing.
I've not had a chance to watch it yet.
When you get a chance, watch it. It's based off, I believe, either comics or a book trilogy.
I think it's a book. I believe it's a book.
Like the Hunger Games and Twilight.
Yeah,
stuff
I think
like
it's a
that.
book.
The first one, I saw it opening week, and I was so impressed with
saw it in the
everything.
theaters?
Oh, it was great in the
Okay.
theaters. I'm excited for the Scorched Trials. At the end, it sets up for the sequel and everything. I'm excited for it. Can't wait.
And without giving much away, is it kind of like Hunger Games?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like the Hunger Games are trapped in the dome and all that. They're
Right.
trapped in
In a maze.
in a maze with these like giant
It's like-
spider kind of things
Like
that come
Kill the
out.
Wind kind of thing?
Well, it's not Killer Wind. It's
Okay.
they're these giant spider kind of looking monster things that are like the size of the maze.
All right.
Because these kids are trapped in the middle, and they're trying to get out. And every day the maze opens up, but it switches. So they send out their fastest runners to run through the maze, and are trying to memorize everything, trying to get out. But the thing is, you got to get back before nightfall, because then the maze closes, and now you're trapped in there with these giant man-eating spider things that come out during the night.
So it's like a labyrinth kind of thing.
Yeah,
Alright.
and it's really
Alright.
good. I mean, it's one of those movies you definitely need to see. Number 3, a lot of people out there were debating whether or not they want to see this. I do, after watching more trailers. It's the Terminator Genesis. This, when I first heard about this, I read that they are redoing. Like, I thought it was going to be continuation of the Terminator story. Obviously, in Terminator Salvation, you see him
Kind of is.
in the future. But thing is, I read it was a whole new reboot. They're rebooting the whole Terminator series. So I'm upset. I don't want to see the Terminator all over again, the first one. And that's what I was reading it was supposed to be. But when I saw the trailer for it, I got excited because it's more Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day fused together. Because when John Connor sends his father back in time and stuff to meet his mother, save his mother, all that's happened already. She saves him. And it starts showing like Judgment Day already happened and everything.
Okay.
So it's a whole new storyline. So I'm actually really excited for this. Because they got old man Schwarzenegger back in it, but
It's Terminator based on time travel kind of stuff. So,
But
who
I
knows
mean,
what's gonna happen?
I got excited after watching the trailer. I mean, I started watching it more and more, getting into it, so it's on my list. My number 2, though, is one you don't want to see, but I think you have a little bit more appreciation for it after watching the trailers. Fantastic Four.
Oh, really?
I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, though.
Yeah, I am
That's
too.
the thing.
And if you-
I know you have your problems with it, but that's the great thing about the top 5.
It is a great thing.
Who would want to watch our show if
Mine's
we
usually
agreed
right
on
and usually
everything?
wrong. That's the
Would
best
you
part of
watch
it.
our show if we agreed on everything? That'd be boring. I want us to disagree. But Fantastic Four, I know you have your doubts on it. I want to see it, and I'm definitely going to see it. What I like is they're not adults. Their characters are played more into their late teens, early 20s, kind of.
Because we're gonna send teens up in space.
Well, they're not in space though. They actually are doing.
I mean, cosmic ray doesn't mutate them like they should be.
Yeah, like they should. Well, it's weird because they're in. It shows them in these little pods, and they get. It's like not time travel, but
Jacked into the Matrix.
you're really hating this
Oh,
movie, aren't
man.
you? No, I mean
I have a lot of issues
it's not
with it.
time travel. It's space travel, but not by spaceship. It's teleportation. That's the word.
Teleportation.
That's the word I'm looking for.
That's right.
I want to see this movie. That's it.
All right.
But my number 1, I'm going to see opening day. It is Jurassic World. Now, I've been waiting for this movie for a long time
A lot of people have.
because this movie was supposed to come out earlier. they always talked about not even remaking, but making another Jurassic Park movie, and it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. Finally, it's hitting theaters. And a lot of people, though, are upset because I think it's a lot of people that are fans of the original Jurassic Park, and then what happens is they stop making movies for 20 years or so.
Right.
It's been 20, it's been more like 10, and then they all of a sudden come out with this another one. And people aren't really big fans of it. The thing is, I just see it as another well-placed movie.
Do you think it's going to redeem itself from the third movie?
I would think so.
The third movie was not that good.
Well, the problem is with the second and the third one, they're getting away from the whole aspect of what is the movie called?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The second
Yep,
one, what do? They go to the city. The third one, they are at a park. It's not really a park though.
It's not an island.
What it is you had Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
and then another island next to it, which was the same thing, owned by the same people. That was their research labs.
Yeah.
And that's where they go in the third one. The fourth one, Jurassic World, what I like is they kept the concept of Jurassic Park. They reopened the park. Everything's all maintained well until they start trying to play God again and mutating dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, but-
Mutating dinosaurs. That's awesome.
But I'm excited for it. It'll be like next year. I'll be excited actually for Independence Day 2. But again, a lot of people aren't because it's been so long. Why do you have to spoil something? And that's what people see with, for instance, Star Wars.
Yeah.
They don't think there should be another one. But like I said, Jurassic World, I will go see opening weekend. I'm a huge fan of the Jurassic Park movies, so I have to see it.
Well, it sounds like you have a good top 5 movies you want to be watching this summer.
Oh yeah, I try to get out there and see as many as I can, especially
we do.
especially with the drive-in opening. I'm
good.
sorry, but
Right.
drive-in to me is so much better than the theater. For the same price at the theater, I get 2 movies at the drive-in,
Yep.
and I can bring my own snacks. Count me in.
Right.
So how about your top 5?
All right. My top 5. Number 5, I have Tomorrowland. Disney's new movie.
Yeah, I finally saw the preview for that. George Clooney's in that.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
finally back in another movie.
Here's what I like about it, right, is I really enjoyed the animated movie, Meet the Robinsons.
Okay.
Love that movie. This is kind of based on that movie,
Yep.
but it's more of a live-action movie. It's going to be awesome, futuristic. Let's explore that land. This movie is going to be awesome to see. It's going to be a great family movie. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, at first when I heard about Tomorrowland, I'm like, what? And I had to see the preview for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't seen the preview, go out and watch it.
Definitely watch
they,
it.
They definitely did a
And,
great job with it.
George Clooney is probably my top 10 favorite actors.
Do you like him? What about Batman? Him as Batman?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm like, if you like George Clooney, then you
was-
have to like him as Batman.
It was that Batman was a corny movie, but for what it was really fun to watch.
He kind of has the nice, rich, good-looking Batman. kinda.
Exactly. He pulled off a great Bruce Wayne.
But back on topic.
Back on topic. Number 4. This is on your list, and I picked it on my list because I love Earth destruction movies.
San Andreas.
I'm talking about San Andreas. You
Yep.
got that right.
Plus, I mean, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, we both are big fans of him.
Yeah,
so.
and I love his movies, but I love this kind of destructional movies.
Yep.
World of Tomorrow, fantastic movie too. Yeah, I like this kind. I saw the previews of San Andreas. It looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Looks
the special effects
awesome.
in that movie are definitely top par.
It's gonna be a very cool movie. Number 3, also on your list. I talk about Jurassic World.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park movies. This will be cool, and Chris Pratt is in it.
Bring maybe.
I love Chris Pratt, man.
I do
He is-
too.
He's awesome.
I thought he did great as in
Star-Lord.
As Star-Lord in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
My thing with this is when you have an actor who is big into comedy, for instance, like he is. Jurassic World, watching this, you see more of a, I can't think of the word, but he's got a better, not a comedy, but he's more serious. There we go.
Yeah, he
He's got
can
a
be a serious actor.
more serious role.
Yeah.
That's what I told you about, like, for instance, even though we have our complaints about it, Ant-Man with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He's always comedy. Maybe this is more of a serious role.
Yeah.
So
But with all Marvel movies, you're gonna have that comedy aspect in there, and I think Paul's gonna do a good job in that movie.
Yep.
Because of that, it's gonna keep him alive a little bit.
yeah, but with Pratt, you see a lot of seriousness
Yeah,
with him.
and I think it's gonna build his career even more.
Yeah.
It's gonna skyrocket him even more. Number 2, you've never seen the movies. I loved all 3 of them so far. I'm talking about Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. Man, this show looks amazing.
Everyone gets on me about not seeing Mission Impossible.
Gotta watch them.
And
Here's why I like him, man, because probably, I'm okay saying this, probably no one favorite actor is Tom Cruise. Love this guy because he does his own stunts.
Yep.
He's not afraid to do anything in the screen.
Just kidding.
And in the Mission Impossible movies, all of them, there's full of action, tons of action, a great story in all of them.
See, my problem with the Mission Impossibles was when 1, 2, and 3 came out, because I think this is number 5, because 4 I think was Ghost Protocol. I could be wrong.
Yep.
They all came out, and I guess I'm putting my foot in my mouth with saying that people hate when movies go and leave for a while and come back. But 1, 2, and 3 came out, then 4 and 5 now, about 10 years later, came out, and it just seems like he's old. He's definitely not aging as well now. And
Well, I mean, he is human.
I
He's
know,
an angel of
I
it.
know that. It's just,
But I mean, he does a fantastic job, and ever since he added Simon Pegg to the cast and Jeremy Renner,
which I'm not
movies
surprised.
are getting better and better.
I'm not surprised that there's another Mission Impossible. Being the fact 1, 2, and 3 were so popular and fans wanted more. When Ghost Protocol came out, I remember a lot of people going out and watching it and renting it all the time, always wanting to see it. So it doesn't surprise me that
It was a
people
phenomenal movie.
are wicked excited about this.
Yeah, and they should be. This is gonna be This is gonna be the summer action movie, I think. It's got it.
Going through your list right now, I'm not going to give away your number 1, but I have a feeling I know what your number 1
Oh, you have a feeling what my number
I
one
have
is.
a feeling something you are a huge fan. You would consider yourself number 1 fan of this next movie. Which
Well, Mr. Nono, why don't you tell me what my number 1 favorite movie is?
is it Entourage?
It is Entourage.
Of course.
Wow. I'm not a huge comedy fan, but when it comes to this show, holy crap.
I actually watched the trailer for it today, and I'm sorry, but I still can't get into it.
You gotta watch the shows.
I'm not a Jeremy Piven fan. That's the
Piven is-
problem.
He was made.
Except in The Goods. I
He was
loved him in The
made to
Goods.
be Ari Gold.
In The Goods, I loved him.
Made for this part. And the movie it's just me so funny. You've got to watch it. I'll let you borrow the seasons right now. I'm actually rewatching them now.
The problem is, I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, what's it about? It's just...
This is what it's about. I'm sorry, you guys probably seen this, but he hasn't. Just explain it to him. It's pretty much you're living the life with a movie star.
Okay, so that makes
He-
sense in part of the trailer.
Yes, he is a movie star. Ari Gold plays his almost like a booker.
Okay.
He gets him the movie parts. Then he has all his friends that he grew up with back in New York. So they all moved out to L.A. to continue his movie career. And it just progresses. Just as he gets movies, as he gets turned down movies, what he has to do to make the money. If it's some, soda pop commercial, to a photo shoot, to playing at a kid's 16th birthday party. So it's just crazy what these group of friends does in LA to try and make it in the movie business.
Well, there you go. You have Entourage. I've got Fantastic Four.
There you go.
There you go. So at least we both have. Maybe I'll rent it when it comes out. Probably not.
But there's my top 5. All movies you should see. But
-1.
let's help out our fans by breaking them down
Let's do
and
it.
give me a top solid 5 list on what to watch.
Exactly. Oh, well,
So we already know that San Andreas and Jurassic World are both be on
exactly.
this list.
We just got to figure out where they got to go. Because you have 4 for San Andreas. I have it at 5. I was debating whether...
Where's Jurassic World for you?
Number 1.
Number 1.
I can see San Andreas staying at number 4 like you, because I had a hard time figuring out where I wanted to put that. Because right before the show here today, I had to redo my top 5 because I put Age of Ultron on there, and then
Yeah,
we had to redo it because we decided to take it
out.
out. So I really think that should be a number 4.
San Andreas, number 4. All right, number 5. Let's get you back number 5. What was your number 4 on your list?
I had the Maze Runner,
You have the Maze Runner. I've never seen those, so
and Tomorrowland. Neither one of us has seen.
yet.
I'm
going to.
I really think the fans out there, if we don't put Maze Runner on this, because you don't realize how big Maze Runner was when that came out.
I've never seen it, man. Never seen it.
I know you
so-
haven't seen it. I'll have to. I don't remember if I have it yet or not. I think I don't, but I plan on it.
Mr. Fan doesn't have the movie yet?
I don't.
Jeez.
I'm,
All
only,
right.
I'm only one person.
Put-
So I got 300 movies. What minus one?
Well, just for me, I'm going to pop it down and remind me to watch the first one.
Yeah, to me,
So let's do Maze Runner number 5. So that'll give me a reason to watch the first one.
thing with Maze Runner is you have to realize, you know how popular the Twilight sagas were,
Yeah,
and how popular
yeah.
Hunger Games is. That's what Maze Runner is doing right now.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah. The first Maze Runner I thought was amazing. I was out of my seat the entire movie. I was
Your number 3 movie on your list
Terminator.
was Terminator.
And yours was Jurassic World.
Mine was Jurassic World. Jurassic World is on our list, right?
Yeah, we just got to
Both of
figure
us.
out. You had it at 3. I had it at 1. Does that mean we put it in the middle between, or how do you? I could see Jurassic World not being number 1 in my case. It's on my list because I really want to see it because I'm such
I
a
do
huge
too.
fan.
It should be number 1.
You do? You think so?
I really want to see it too.
I know you want Entourage on that list so bad.
I think Jurassic World should be number 1 on the list.
I feel like a lot of people are really excited for it, even though
And they should be.
I've
They should
heard
be.
I've heard a lot of people
Absolutely
not
should be.
want to see it. But I think these people that are saying they don't want to see it are truly going to go see it.
Oh yeah. So now we have to cover up spots 2 and 3. And I kind of think Tomorrowland should be on the list somewhere. It's going to be a cool movie.
You do?
I do. And I would accept that Entourage is not going to be on the list.
I would put
I've accepted
I
that.
would agree and just put Tomorrowland at number 3 as long as Entourage is not.
I accepted that. I know you're not into it. I'm hoping one day I can get you into it.
Because like I said, I just watched the Tomorrowland trailers and it got me wanting to watch it a second time.
I mean, here's the thing. It's a Disney movie. And when it comes to Disney live action, they have just gotten better and better and better.
Yeah,
I
it's-
think with the confidence coming out with, the first Avengers movie, Disney's not afraid to continue making live action movies that are being awesome.
I would agree. So we got number 2.
Number 2.
The only movies we haven't put on there from each one of our lists are Terminator, Fantastic Four, Entourage, and
Mission Impossible. Well, I know one thing. Fantastic Four, you can just drop that now. That is not going on there.
I don't mind dropping it. I know how much you don't want to
So
see
looking at Mission Impossible
Or Terminator.
and Terminator. Both good movies. Both should be must-sees. But which one is a little more must-see?
it. Which one do you think fans want to see more?
I think, honestly, I'm not being biased at all. I'm going to go with your side. I think people are going to end up seeing Terminator more. Just because it was Terminator 1, Terminator Judgment Day, fantastic movies.
I know in my case, looking online a lot at people on Facebook, for instance, and stuff, when the Terminator preview came out, I saw a lot of people out there getting excited over this.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
and they should be. It's gonna be a good movie.
I mean, I understand the whole Mission Impossible thing, and I know when you and I worked at a certain video rental place,
right?
when Ghost Protocol came out, we couldn't keep it on the shelves.
Because it was that good.
That's what's getting me back and forth.
Right.
But for me, even though be trying to be biased, I guess, I've seen more people about Terminator than I have
Then
Mission Impossible.
what's it- Terminator?
Probably because Terminator comes out, I believe, before Mission Impossible.
So just pop Terminator on the list then, number 2.
Let's do
I
it.
think that's a great idea.
Well, there we go.
There's the top 5.
So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 5. At number 5, The Maze Runner Scorched Trials. Number 4, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, San Andreas. Number 3, George Clooney. He's coming back finally. Tomorrowland. Number 2, Terminator Genesis, starring a whole new Terminator saga. And at number 1, my favorite, Jurassic World. Go see it.
Go
It's
see
going
it.
to be great. What's better than watching dinosaurs eat people?
Also, check out the Legend of the Nerds Facebook page where we're putting up our top 5 every week we do.
Yep.
And you also comment on it. Tell us your top 5. That way we have open our horizons.
I would love to find out what the fans, what their top 5s are.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a movie we haven't heard of.
Right.
It's coming.
There's a lot of great
coming
indie
out.
movies out there.
Oh, exactly. Some
Fantastic indie
One,
movies.
for instance, that you pointed out to me that I hadn't seen, and I'm surprised I didn't see this preview because I'm such a huge Adam Sandler fan.
It's not an indie film either.
I know.
It's an actual studio film, which is fantastic.
And what are we
Which
talking-
brings us to our next subject, Andy. And that's movies to actually watch out for this summer.
Now we gave you our top 5. Those are just 5 of the great movies that are coming out this summer. I mean, there's got to be at least a good 30 movies on this list that are coming out this summer.
Absolutely.
I mean, the summer started off great with Age of Ultron, but there are some other big blockbusters. And I want to start off with Adam Sandler's.
All right.
Pixels.
It comes out on July 24th.
July 24th, Pixels. When
Pixels.
I heard of Pixels, because I hadn't watched the trailer yet, I'm thinking it's some little kid kind of animation movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a live action.
Here's how this movie turned out for me. When I first heard about this movie, it's supposed to be a like a live action Tetris movie. Mm-hmm. But then they evolved it. Apparently, they didn't get the green light. They evolved it for more. Now it's actually a live action video game world domination kind of movie, starring Adam Sandler,
Kevin
and
James.
one of my favorite comedians, Kevin James.
You can't have now an Adam Sandler movie without a Kevin James.
Man, Kevin James
mean-
is awesome.
A lot of people are out there complaining that Kevin James and Adam Sandler are just too old, they need to retire. But I'm sorry. I think they're still hilarious. I mean, a lot of people complain Kevin James needs to go back to doing King of Queens. That was where he was best at. But I'm
Show's
sorry.
over.
I'm sorry, but he's still, to me, funny.
Have you ever seen stand up?
I haven't seen him do stand-up, no.
Fantastic stuff.
Must have been before King of Queens and everything, back when he was pretty young. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. I think he still does a few shows.
I think he did some with Adam Sandler too on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But Pixels, I mean, hilarious. Pac-Man is a bad guy. That was just great.
Donkey Kong was great.
Yeah. What is?
Watch the trailer. You guys are gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time a little bit to July 17th.
July 17th. What we got? July.
We
17th?
have Pan.
Not anymore.
They moved it.
They moved it. After I told you about Pan coming out and we were all excited because both of us are big Peter
Okay.
Pan fans. They moved it back to October. So
It's not even a summer movie anymore.
The reason that I read, the reason the company moved it to October is because they didn't want to compete with the summer movies that are coming out this year.
You know what? They should have, because Pan's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the storyline of Peter and Hook being friends.
Exactly.
Peter going to Neverland. I love that storyline.
Which I'm wondering.
Not seen it yet.
I'm wondering if they're taking a lot of on Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi did this, for instance, where they did a mini series called Neverland, which all starts
Yep.
in London and everything, where Peter is an orphan with the Lost Boys,
Yeah.
and they're working with Hook and stuff. They're all friends,
Right.
and then they end up getting to Neverland, and that's where they part ways and everything.
Now,
But
people are going to find it annoying. A lot of Peter Pan movies coming out, a lot of Peter Pan shows coming out. But this is something different.
Mm-hmm.
This is something completely different. We're seeing the aspect of before Peter Pan actually came out.
yeah.
That's what's going to be different.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind like prequels kind of thing because
Right.
I like to know the backstory.
Yeah.
So
They even touched up a little bit on that ABC show,
Mm-hmm.
Once Upon a Time.
Yep, one of my favorite shows right now on TV.
Yeah, it's a good show. I mean, they did the Neverland series, where Peter was the bad,
bad guy.
which was a cool aspect of the show.
Which I don't know. Have you? I don't want to spoil anything for you, but have you finished that season?
No,
So I won't tell you.
I haven't even touched it.
I
in a
won't
while.
tell you what happens to Peter Pan. Then you just need to watch it.
Yeah, I need to get back on it.
Now let's continue though with July 17th
Yes, another
because
big one.
this is the one I thought you were talking about at first.
Yep, I wasn't gonna touch it. This one last. We'll shock it up a little bit. Talk about Ant-Man, right?
Man,
Ant-Man.
and we have our ups and downs about it, but it's still something I want to watch. Being a Marvel fan.
I am definitely not rushing to theaters for this one.
Well, I'm not going to rush theaters, but maybe at a drive-in, for instance, where I'm getting another movie for free.
Yeah, I mean, depends. I'm not a huge Ant fan anyways. And I don't like the fact that, Hank Pym isn't the Ant-Man
Exactly.
in this movie.
Like Ant-Man wasn't one of those characters I knew too much about when I first started getting into Marvel. And then you explained a lot to me, and it seems like they're going way off track with this.
Definitely.
I don't know why.
I mean, not too off track, but I think like they could kind of done this as a second movie, and not a first one. Because Hank Pym is the Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, then where a lot of people got.
Then you have Scott Lang coming in as the second Ant-Man, who actually steals the suit right underneath Hank Pym's eyes, all for Scott's daughter.
Yeah. And then, of course, I mean, going back right now to Age of Ultron, a lot of people getting upset, though, because Hank Pym is the one who really
Kind of created Ultron. Kind of did, yeah.
And that's where I know a year ago when we found out when these two movies were coming out, you even mentioned you were kind of a little irritated that
I was.
Ant-Man's coming out after Age of Ultron.
Was.
But I think they still did a good job with how Tony created it.
With the trail of Ant-Man coming out, even extended one, they have, released the villain, which is going to be Yellow Jacket, I think. And for me, Yellow Jacket was Hank Pym. Hank Pym kind of turned crazy.
Yep.
And created this character, Yellow Jacket.
Now I'm also wondering too, because in the preview, it shows. I keep forgetting who Paul Rudd plays.
Scott Lang.
Scott. He's learning how to fight from this female, which makes me wonder: is she going to be Wasp later on? If they decide to do a sequel or something, because they don't show Wasp in the trailer.
No, they don't. But I don't think she's gonna be.
No,
I don't think so.
For me, reading up on Ant-Man, she's one of those big characters in the Ant-Man kind of comic area. So,
yeah. I don't know what she's gonna be.
But
it'd be kind of interesting to find out.
It's one of those movies where we're up and down on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see it and then I don't. It's just. But.
Any other movies in July that you're looking at?
In July, we already went over Terminator.
Yeah.
I really don't want to get into Magic Mike. I'm sorry. If there's any lady fans out there, be my guest. Go and watch it.
And
I'm not paying money to watch Magic Mike.
I think if you do, please leave us a comment on our Facebook page.
Please.
Just so we know what it was like.
That way we know at least what we're talking about. I saw the first one. I'm not proud of saying I watched it, but I did.
Did you find any enjoyment out of it?
Kevin Nash trying to dance?
Here's the thing for me. I probably would have watched it if it wasn't for Tatum.
I know you hate Tatum.
I'm not a Channing Tatum fan at all.
Yeah.
I would have watched it just to see Matthew McConaughey, because that guy's hilarious.
Oh, rat.
He is a funny dude,
Yeah. But I'm not paying.
And Fluffy was in the movie, wasn't he?
Yes, Gabriel Iglesias.
He was a DJ.
He actually did even though he didn't have a big character role, it was actually pretty good because he plays besides a DJ, he's a drug dealer on the side.
Oh, was he?
It was hilarious though, trying to do that. I mean, it's just seeing him try to pull off a different side of him instead of just being Mr. Fluffy, it was funny, but I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pay my hard-earned money to see Tatum shake his you-know-whats.
Then we have August coming up. We've already touched up on this a little bit.
Yep.
Let's touch up a little more. Fantastic Four comes out on the 7th of August.
Yep.
There's just so many things about this movie that I do not like.
Were Sue Storm's adopted?
Maybe. Who knows?
It's true. There's interracial families.
There is. We don't know how. I mean, Fantastic Four was almost the spiderweb of the Marvel Universe. So many different superheroes have spawned off of them.
Yep.
Spider-Man helped out the Fantastic Four. You have X-Men that helped out the Fantastic Four. Avengers have gone in and seeking help from the Fantastic Four for stuff. And by changing around a lot like that, it's just messing up the universe for me.
Yeah. See, I think.
And Thing was too tall and kind of too skinny.
Yeah. I think the problem was we got a lot out of the first Fantastic Four about 10 years ago.
And Thing looked amazing in that. We should have kept it that way.
Which was great. I loved it. And then we get the Silver Surfer, which fans hated. I really didn't care for the Silver Surfer one.
Mind it. I thought it was kind of a cool concept.
I didn't mind it.
I enjoyed Silver Surfer.
I didn't mind it, but it wasn't really my favorite kind of thing. I thought
No.
the first one was much better, and I think the problem was they just shut it down after that because fans hated it. And now they're trying 10 years later to get back on track on it. Let's try to redo it, which is what makes me nervous about, even though we're talking about Marvel right now, DC with Green Lantern. Because you and I both know we love the first Green Lantern, and they shut it down.
They
shut it down because a lot of people out there didn't know what they were talking about. And what's going to happen is they're going to bring it back, and it will probably be like this Fantastic Four, and you're not going to want to watch it.
Well, I mean,
Because they're going to
Lantern,
get off track.
At least with Green Lantern, they did Hal Jordan. They could always just start it off with Jon Stewart, and it'd be fine.
Which that's the rumor with Tyrese
You know,
Gibson. That's the problem.
could be.
We're going to see.
But, I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
I think we're going to see.
Fantastic Four needs to be the original characters. You know, Johnny Storm, I just don't like how they changed the race.
He seems more in the preview to me, more serious.
Yeah.
When Johnny Storm is a very cocky person.
Chris Evans did a great Johnny Storm.
Because he was so young, and he did. He had
did a
he had that
great
personality. It's just, like I said, I kind of, after watching the extended trailer, want to see it more. But who knows? We'll see.
I'm not going to go to theaters and watch it. I'm definitely not going to, but I definitely will watch it on DVD. And then, right then, I will pass my judgment on what the movie really is
Yeah.
for me. So stick tuned to the show, because when it comes out on DVD, we'll be talking about it again.
I want to get on track though, because I think a lot of people out there are probably will be yelling at the TV screen at us for not mentioning this. A lot of fans love the first one, but on June 26th, Ted 2 hits
Oh,
theaters.
we forgot June.
And I love Ted, the first one. I own it. It
I
was
do too.
hilarious. But Ted 2 just seems stupid. And I'm sorry. I am sorry if any of you out there are probably thinking, I'm an idiot. But it's just,
It's tough. It's tough. Here's the thing that's going to save that movie. It's Mark Wahlberg's comedy.
yep.
He's not a comedy actor. He is a strictly drama and action actor. But when you get him to a comedy, that comedy so rolls off his tongue so nicely. You know, he's not trying to be funny, but when he punches his line down, it's amazing. That's what made Ted funny
And the
for
thing
me.
is, it's not like he has to do his comedy in front of another co-actor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Talking to a teddy bear.
yeah, Seth MacFarlane is in a sound booth somewhere doing
Yeah.
his.
Yep.
I mean, they'll film it all, and then he goes ahead and does his sounding.
Yeah.
But after watching the trailer, it just seems boring.
It's.
I mean, Ted gets married.
There's really not much you can do with a stuffed teddy bear in a movie, unless it's just gonna be one raunchy comedy line
Yep.
after another.
That's what I think this movie's going to
If you
be.
guys like that raunchy comedy, this may be on your list to watch.
Yeah.
Who knows? But for me, I'm not a big comedy fan anyways,
Yep.
so I'm probably not gonna rush out and watch this movie at all. And if it comes on TV or it's on Netflix and I'm bored one day, I may watch it then.
My problem is I really wanted to see the entire cast come back, and I haven't heard anything about Mila Kunis being in this, reprising her role as Mark Wahlberg's girlfriend in it.
Oh, right. I forgot she was in the first one.
Because she actually had a decent role in the first one, because she was the whole reason Mark Wahlberg's character and Ted split,
Yeah.
because he was going to get married to her, all this other stuff. And everything I've seen now, it's just about Ted's marriage. From,
Yeah.
from the short
movie
preview
is
I've
called
seen.
Ted, so it probably should be about Ted.
I know. I enjoyed the first one so much that I thought I'd probably enjoy this one, but I don't.
Anything else in June you have?
I mean, in June we went over. Talked to me about Entourage.
Yep.
I have a horror one. I'm not a big horror fan, but Insidious Chapter 3 comes out,
That's right.
and a lot of fans out there I've met loved Insidious. I mean, my parents, for instance,
Yeah.
own Chapter 1 and 2. It's one of those movies where it makes your spine tingle.
I am not a horror fan at all.
It-
I like my classic horror movies,
Yeah,
but the new horror movies now they're just too much.
yeah.
They're way too much.
Like, for instance, there is, what was the other one? It was, I forgot what date it comes out, but I think it's already out now. It just came out, or it's coming out.
The
soon.
remake of Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Right? Is it
Yeah.
a remake?
It's a remake. Yeah.
Okay. Did
And
you ever see the first one?
No, but all I'm hearing from people who have seen the first one, like for instance, my parents, I told them because they're big horror fans, and they watched the trailer for Poltergeist, and all I heard was, "Really?" That was their
Yeah.
expression, because the first one was so much better, and then when you're watching the preview for this one, they just like you see the little girl get dragged up the stairs by this spirit, for instance. And that's not what happens in the first one, apparently. She gets
No.
dragged around the house and then gets sucked into the TV or something like that.
I mean, like, Poltergeist, the original, came out in 1982.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you have to imagine what the special effects were like back in 82.
Exactly. That's why a lot of people like, for instance...
And that's what made the movie scary, though. That's what made the movie scary.
Oh, yeah,
Was that their special effects wasn't that good. There was no CGI, so it all had to be camera tricks.
a lot of people like the original horror movies, like the original Halloweens,
Yeah.
the original Friday the 13th, Chucky's, all that stuff compared to these. Yeah, and because, I mean, for me, I think the Chucky movies are hilarious, but I don't think they're scary. But
The first two Chuckies were great. It's when it was Bride of Chucky, it got kind of lame for me.
oh yeah, like MTV owned the rights to that and stuff. And
It got kind of lame after that, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first couple were great.
But I see a lot of people, they enjoy the originals, and the remakes, they just kind of, I think they're trying too hard. They're trying to make it more gory, kind of. Like for me, I hated the Saw movies.
They do gore all the time, and it's just not, it's not appealing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big horror fan, but you like it, go out there and watch it. I mean,
Mind you, I'm not sure when it comes out, but if you've ever seen the first one, if you like horror, if you don't like horror, watch Sinister.
that comes out August
Now, the sequel of
21st.
Sinister comes out.
August 21st.
I enjoyed the first one. The only reason why I
did see
watched
the
it,
first one.
The only reason I watched it is I'm a huge Ethan Hawke fan.
Yep.
That's the only reason why I watched it. And I actually kind of liked it as a horror movie.
It was.
It had a really cool storyline.
It had a good storyline. It had that. I think a lot of people for horrors right now want that spine tingling kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, for instance, like, granted, it's not a summer movie. It comes out in October. Paranormal Activity 5.
Another one, huh?
Well, it's thing is, it's not like for instance, Final Destinations.
Okay.
It's different characters, but it's the same storyline.
Mm-hmm.
With Paranormal Activity, it's the same one girl who's possessed, and
Yeah.
it's a continuation. And I think that's what, even though it's the same thing, where it's the spirit and stuff, but it's a different story. I think that's what people
I
like
watched the
about
first couple ones. It actually kind of freaked me out.
it. Same here.
The first two one, yeah. I mean, I watched it in the dark, and I'll admit, I actually had to turn the light on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the cameras moving constantly. Like
Right,
I'll get
right.
motion sickness sometimes, like if I go to the theater. But with Paranormal Activity, they move it slowly a little bit, and it's
Gently,
like
yep.
you see nobody, and then it moves back, and it's like, whoa! I mean,
All the movies that, you should, some horrors you should watch out for.
yeah. I do want to touch up though. One remake I'm not looking forward to.
Oh, I think I know where you're
That
going
comes
with this.
out this month,
This month. Okay, maybe it's not the one.
May 15th. Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, Mad Max. I forgot about Mad Max.
I like the originals of Mad Max with Mel Gibson and everything.
Yeah.
This one just looks too corny. It just
Here's what threw me off the
just-
first part. I was a little excited when I heard that Mad Max was coming out. Then I read who got the lead role. And I was like, nope, I'm shutting it down. Tom Hardy has got the lead role in this. And,
you just
oh,
don't
ugh.
like him ever since he played Bane. That's the
I
problem.
don't like him ever since he got into the business. He plays the same character in every movie.
Well, he did that with Chris Pine and Reese Witherspoon.
Okay, that one I'll give it.
What was-
But Chris Pine made that movie,
Yeah.
and my girl Reese, love her.
I forget what that movie was called, but
Yeah, it was funny though. It was a funny movie.
exactly. With Mad Max Fury Road, I've watched the trailer a couple times. Now, when it comes on TV, I would literally have to fast forward. It's just not. It's not doing anything for me.
No, why would it?
But I want to know, which movie did you think I was talking about?
It comes out September 4th.
Oh, the Transporter
The
movie.
Transporter movie.
Now-
Here's what bothers me about that. I love Jason Statham.
I do have problems with it. So
What's your biggest problem with that movie?
my problem is no Jason Statham. He is the Transporter.
He is.
It's the same thing. I didn't see him, But the Bourne movies, that's what fans hated. Was Matt Damon was Jason Bourne, and then they go ahead and do this new Bourne movie, which it's not about Jason Bourne, but people hated it because Jason Bourne made the Bourne Identity trilogy, all those movies.
Of course.
That's my problem with Transporter, is Jason Statham is the Transporter.
Yeah, I mean,
He made those movies.
I would have been okay if we touched up on this being a different Transporter. But, I mean, he is playing Frank Martin again.
Yep.
You know, so that's Jason Statham's
Exactly.
Transporter name.
And that's
it's still him. And it's like, you know what? Do a different Transporter. Then I've been okay with it.
exactly.
But,
And that's what I hate about why I got nervous, for instance, about Terminator. Why I thought they were just remaking the first Terminator kind of thing, but it's not, because I don't want to see the same movie.
yeah, in a different aspect.
And I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Transporter movie that we all knew from a while ago. And it's not even like the Transporter trilogy ended years ago. It just ended a couple years ago. It just...
I have a couple movies I want to touch up on
Go right ahead.
real quick. 9/4, movie called No Escape.
Not on my
Alright.
list, but I
Now,
remember
here
hearing
is
about
why I think it's interesting. It stars Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
And Owen Wilson is a comedy actor. But you ever seen, I think it was Behind Enemy Lines.
it. Okay, yeah.
It's a war movie with Owen Wilson, and he played such a great, serious role.
Yeah.
Like, he was phenomenal in that movie.
Oh, yeah, because he's a
So I'm hoping-
phenomenal actor.
I'm hoping that I'll see another serious Owen Wilson in this movie. It should be a phenomenal movie. Something to be watching for. Another one is called, I think it's called Man of UNCLE.
Okay.
All right. This stars Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the...
All right. This is why you should watch it, because seeing him in another role besides Superman would see how much of a good actor he really is.
problem-
And does he constantly look like a deer caught in the headlights in every scene?
Yeah, that was the one I read about, the article where people are saying he's juicing and he's on steroids. Because wait till you see it, he is jacked.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures of what he looked like from Superman to this, and everyone is saying that he's on the roids.
He could
So,
be,
who knows?
but I mean, he's getting paid. A lot of money. Might as well see him as the best, right?
So, last one.
All right, last one.
So for all you little kids out there, I don't know if you're watching our show, but Minions comes out this summer.
Oh,
I didn't watch the Despicable Me movies, but I know a lot of kids out there love them. I know a lot of adults love them. But Minions comes out this summer, so
another cheap.
go ahead and
portray.
see it. You can tell us what you think about it. I mean, hey.
So there is Andy. There's our top 5, and also movies to watch for this summer. Mm-hmm. Anything else you on your plate?
For all you sports fans out there, hockey playoffs are going on right now. Basketball playoffs are going on right now. It was a great weekend for sports. We had baseball, hockey, basketball, Kentucky Derby. Unfortunately, Mayweather versus Pacquiao. But that's about it.
That's about it, huh?
Thanks for joining us on Legends of the Nerds. Like us on our Facebook page, Legends of the Nerds. And I hope you all have a great night.